whatever it was, they're now getting married at 28, 29, and 30, and then after that is when they will start having children. And therefore, lawmakers around the world are flailing. They are desperately trying to figure out what they can do to encourage their citizens to have more babies. I mean, we're seeing that in America right now under the Trump.
It's going to go back to two things. Do we give women choice or do we not give women choice? And that's really what you got to ask yourself as a guy. Do you want a woman there out of obligation or because she wants to be there? Because these are the choices we have. And if you give women choice, women go for 20% of men and they stay because, if you give women choice, we go for 20-ish% of men and we'll just keep fighting over those men. If you give women no choice, then we stay out of obligation. And I know a lot of people say in the past, no, the women wanted to be there. I don't trust what women say. I trust what they do. And as soon as women got the power to leave and the opportunity, we did. What does that indicate? Guilty as Thomas Conservative, guilty as charged. Sometimes I super chatter to tell us as much as possible to anger liberal women, which is fun.
Presidency. The Trump admin is literally pushing for what they are calling a baby boom with all of these incentives to inspire Americans to make it easier.
You cannot pay women to procreate with average men on their own volition. They will continue to try to give these incentives. There is not, women are going into debt just to not reproduce with average men. I'm being honest to the average guys out there, we love you, but women don't. And even the women that virtue signal on these shows, they marry into millions of dollars, okay? And if we look at their actions, women are saying, I would rather go into debt than marry you. I would rather get ghosted by 10 Chads than marry you. I would rather play out my luck in a city than marry you. I would rather do some stupid marketing job than marry you. That's what women are communicating. And the government thinks you can give women money to marry average men. Women are not going to do it. We're going to get into the same problem. Women won't even lose weight. That's the worst part is a lot of women could get the 20% of men, but we won't lose weight. We will not do it.
Baby bonus. Another proposal is to give every newborn a $1,000 investment account. And contrary to popular belief, it's not just people in more conservative countries that are concerned about this, like in Korea or Hungary. It's not just Republicans in America that are concerned. I mean, Zohran Mamdani in New York is literally running on the idea of free childcare to make things, easier for parents.
Yeah, women don't want to be mothers so much. We don't want to reproduce with average men or give up our leverage. So, work. Now women, we want to give, and remember, all the politicians are going to cater to the women. We're going to get free IVF and daycare in our lifetime, I'm going to call it. It's too far gone. And I keep trying to reiterate this. 80% of consumer buying decisions are made by women. That means 80% of all purchases, 80% of people are paid by women. You are not going to change this economy. There is going to have to be a decline. When it's going to happen, that's the question. I think I'll be old. I'm already old, but I'll be super old then,
But as I've said time and time again when we have talked about those proposed incentives, I don't think any of that actually solves the root problem, because what we really need to turn the fertility rate around is a marriage boom. We'll dive back in, but first, a quick word from our...
Oh my God, this is going to be a dumb take. A marriage boom. Okay. You're going to have the same thing happen if you're paying women to leave. If you're paying women to leave, it's just going to be another round of men taking L's. That's it. There will be the same thing will happen.
$40 off plus free...
Dear God, will she advocate for the laws changing first? She won't. That's why the conservatives are full of shit. I get angry because I used to consume a lot of this content. And you realize they're full of shit because if you really wanted traditional marriage, that's what you would advocate for. You would say change the laws, then have the family and the kids. But they wave their hands. There's no other issue that they will say is a lost cause but this one. How convenient is that? How convenient is that? You know, they don't say the trans issue is a lost cause. They keep debating that. They don't say that lowering taxes is a lost cause. But this issue, they're so fearful of women that they won't be the one to say it. Fathers. Now, I can negotiate. I'll say 50-50 custody, no child support, no alimony. There's my starting deal. I think that's fair. But really, if we really want to get patriarchal, which is what they say they're advocating for, why don't men get 100% custody? Why can't they own the children? Why not? They raise better, all the data indicates they raise better children. Why not? They're not the ones breaking up marriages. Oh, but he might leave you for someone younger. Okay, then be nice to him and maybe he won't. Men are actually pretty loyal creatures. If you're just nice, a lot of times they'll stick around. No, I'm not the real trad. You guys got to sell. But what I'm saying is if you're going to sell that, then sell it. And that's what I get irritated. Sell it. If you're going to sell me on marriage, sell me on a traditional marriage and make it real. Don't sell me this play pretend bullshit. It's all play pretend. You're not in a traditional marriage if you're on social media streaming. You're not. How many, and I'm just, this is graphic, this is awkward to say, but how many men are jacking off to Brett Cooper on the internet? Like, let's be real here. I mean, that's really awkward to say, right? But is that traditional? Now, I'm not saying they're wrong for doing it. I don't think she's wrong. But this is what irritates me is they want all the benefits of a modern marriage while marketing it as traditional. Give up your leverage. If you really believe in this, give up your leverage. Give it up. Give 100%. Give up the show, give up the social media. And I'm not saying you should. Give it up and advocate for marriage reform first so we can have a traditional marriage. You got to start negotiating with the men.